Welcome to Inktober sessions. Hey guys, welcome to another video in these Inktober diaries. So today's prompt that I'm going to be doing here is witch. And I love this theme. I mean, I could draw witches and everything witchy every single day of the year. So I was very happy to draw a witch with a crow because I mean, the two just go so nicely together. And I had two different reference pictures that I had found on Pinterest, one of a woman sitting on the field and one of a crow that was looking up. So to me, it seemed quite perfect and natural to have the crow looking up at the woman while she's gazing down and caressing or just appreciating the crow in that moment. So I grab my pencils and I start sketching away. It was quite relaxing. This was another one that I was doing with my youngest son right next to me. He was very content while he was drawing and painting with watercolors. I have several tables set up in my studio space at the moment, so he can have a whole table space for all his crayons and markers and paintbrushes and water and make a mess. And I can have my little space because I'm actually on a raised area where I can put all my materials, and he understands that he's not supposed to touch any of these things. So it's quite easy and nice. That way I can be able to draw carefree while he is also drawing next to me. But the thing here is that since I'm doing it in a sketchbook, there is a seam, and it can be kind of difficult to place whatever it is that I want to draw within that area. So unfortunately, the face of the witch does end up in the seam of it because, I don't know, it just seemed like the best spot to put her. If I had put her either all the way to the left, I would have had a completely empty right page, and I wanted to use both pages. And if I had done it on the right, the same thing would have happened. I could have, in hindsight, another ideal way of doing the composition would have been to put her on the right page and then have the left page full of fall, autumny leaves and flowers. That could have been really pretty, but then that would have kind of distracted the point of view, which is the woman with the crow. So and that's why I put it central, but that's a very boring composition, you could say. The eye just goes straight to the woman's face, and it's like, okay, now what? But whatever. As I said, these Inktober illustrations aren't meant to be masterpieces. They're just really excuses to get your inks out and draw and be motivated to continue, kind of like you were doing schoolwork. And that's something that I really need. I need a project or a challenge in mind to be able to keep up the pace with personal projects. Otherwise, I feel very stagnant. So that's why I'm very motivated with this year's Inktober. So I think with this video, it is 45 minutes long. That's how long it took me to draw this and ink this with my youngest child next to me because I had to take breaks in between. So I think that I will speed this one up so it's a shorter video. I'm going to speed up now the pencil portion, and then I'll come back and talk about inks in a little bit. All right, so now let's get to inking. For this one, decided to create more of a muted style. So I'm always adding a little bit of black to all the colors. But these are inks, so they're very translucent. And I'm doing what is it called? The sky in a very grayish, bluish color. And I'm painting a bit over where I see some of the foliage in the background. Not over everything. I mean, I'm leaving the clouds obviously white because I want that area to be creamy white as the color page is. But I do paint over the trees that you see back there, just to give it more of that gray muted tone so they really are pushed back into the background. What I usually do, as I've probably already mentioned in my other videos, is that I have this little plastic palette where I squeeze out some of the ink on there so that then I can use my water brush. Otherwise, it's too highly pigmented and I don't want always a very rich tone. Sometimes I want a very subtle wash of something, and then I like to increase the intensity as I go. So yeah, so I'm going to speed through this part and you guys can watch me ink this and then I'll get back to you guys. All right, guys, so I'm approaching here the end of the inking of this little illustration as I have it sped up. And I just wanted to remind you guys that Inktober or Drawloween or Peachtober, whichever prompt list you are using, it should really be a fun activity where you just improve your drawing skills. Maybe you decide to do 31 days of drawing something that you're not very familiar with, or you want to create a story, and so you use these 31 days to create a little storyline or to develop a character, or to practice with different mediums, or just to see what comes out. Even, I mean, it should be taken also lightly and as a hobby. You don't need to be this amazing, wonderful professional artist. No one has to be. No one's expecting it. And it should just be for you and to enjoy it. And so I hope these videos that I'm creating here inspire you and give you a moment in the day where you can sit down with some art supplies and draw alongside me and create today a witchy little illustration. I really enjoyed the colors that I picked here. I, of course, could have done more, obviously, but the whole premise of this little sketchbook is to do very quick illustrations so that I can sit down next to my kids and draw at the same time. And if I'm doing that, then they can't be perfect because I'm also focused on them. Also, what I really wanted to improve in this one is to use my Pentel brush pen because it has a very delicate nib. It can be kind of complex and difficult to get the lines that you want. And I also really want to work on my thatching and shading with ink. So those are my main goals here. And to see that I can always incorporate a crow. That's what I really want to be able to focus on and create. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And I, of course, cannot be posting every day, unfortunately, even though I would love to. I do have material for every day, and I will continue. But so far, it's every other day. So I really hope that you guys enjoy these videos. And don't forget to tag me on your Instagram posts with Sissy Prints so that I can comment and see your lovely illustrations. All right, so have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.